So Half Centenarians, you will not believe this, but I am in the Buckeye Nation. I'll give you $20 if you could tell me what a Buckeye is, and then also what does it stand for in relation to the Ohio State University. Time's up. I don't know either, but I'm getting ready to go ask somebody who does. And go research that. You should know that. OH. Yes. All right, Half Centenarians, welcome. We have with us OH.
I-O.
Yes, the Ohio State University former athletic director, one of the athletic directors here. But we are really excited, learning a lot. Yes. And she's going to continue the conversation, but I'm going to let Miss Willis introduce herself before we go too far and not steal any of her thunder.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I grew up, as we talked about a little earlier informally, grew up in New Jersey, Jersey girl, and decided that I wanted to go to the town that I grew up in was a majority white town. Went from kindergarten to 12th grade without another black in the classroom with me. So coming to graduation, when I was graduating, I decided I needed the HBCU experience. So I went 1,500 miles away from home to attend Grambling State University.
Wow.
It was Grambling College at the time, Grambling State University, and that changed my life forever, for the better.
Yes.
And I really
awesome.
found myself, found my self-esteem, found just a lot of direction for how to prepare myself for professional life, and that led me to a number of places, and ultimately at the Ohio State University.
Yes, and you know, it's so funny that you say you had to go, well, not had to, but you found that you learned a lot at the HBCU, because one thing I will say, Half Centenarians, you need to remember that they say Grambling is a place where everybody is somebody.
That's right.
So we had the privilege of going to Grambling State, and so now to find a Gramblingite here at the Ohio State University kind of is ironic, but that HBCU connection is definitely embedded in a lot of people that I know.
It is.
I had my own HBCU experience as well, but we have a lot in common as well, not just HBCU, but you were a hurdler.
I was.
As was I. Yes. So talk to us about, say that one more time.
Hurdlers rule.
That's right. We bounce over obstacles.
That's right.
Yes, that's what we do.
Right.
So tell us, how did that propel you, and where did you end up and find yourself over time because of that?
Yeah, and I was, it was unusual that when I went to Grambling, to attend Grambling, they didn't have women's track. So I fell under that Title IX umbrella when the federal law said that you had to provide opportunities for women.
Love it.
And so in my freshman year, Grambling added women's track. And so I went out for the track team and ended up on scholarship junior, senior, and grad school years. But it was one of the things that I often said in my professional career was that hurdling prepared me for
the hurdles.
That's right. The hurdles
I feel the same.
In the field, personal hurdles and professional hurdles. It's like, you get over them and
you keep running.
Keep moving.
That's right. You keep running. I wanted to go back to that. Did you run hurdles in high school, or was that your first? Okay, so you came with that experience. So you just I didn't know if you started as a freshman in college.
No, I was a track athlete, field hockey, basketball, and track athlete in high school.
Gotcha. And then after you left there, tell us a little bit about your coaching experiences and how did you end up as an athletic director?
Sure. During the time that I was when I graduated, I stayed out one semester, went back for my master's degree in sports administration. And when I graduated from the master's program, most of the assistant athletic directors' jobs were asking for 4 to 5 years coaching experience.
Oh, okay.
That's not so much the case anymore, but back again in 70, 78, that was what they were looking for. So I ended up getting a coaching job, Division III small college in New Jersey, and I coached track there for 9 years.
Gotcha.
And in a whim, applied for a position that Temple University was looking for an assistant AD with experience in drug testing and some other in compliance.
Right.
When I was at the Division III school, we were small. I remember when the NCAA started drug testing, I went to the athletics director and I said, what are we going to do to prepare our students for advanced going to NCAA championships? Because we don't have the resources to test. How are we going to educate them? And so the athletic director says, well, since you have an interest, develop a program. So I developed a drug education program at Montclair State. And so when Temple was looking for someone with experience in drug testing and education, it kind of met my resume.
Yes, perfectly.
And also a sidebar, which you probably don't know, but I went in the Air Force. I took a leave of absence from my coaching job, and I went into the Air Force to be a medic in the Air Force. But so I felt that I would definitely get an interview because I'm a veteran African-American woman.
Trifecta.
And then I had some experiences in the areas they were looking for.
Absolutely.
So I went, interviewed, got that job, and then 7 years into that, I got a phone call from Archie Griffin, who is Mr. Ohio State football, the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner. I'm proud to say. Called me and asked, he said that Ohio State had an opening and would I be interested? And that's how I ended up coming to Ohio State.
And she said,
yeah, let's see, Temple,
Ohio State. Let's see, yeah. And so what time? But I think that is, okay, so that goes back to what that story, which is a phenomenal story, by the way. And no, I had no idea you had spent a little time serving our country, so thank you for your service. That is, I don't know if y'all remember that quote. It says, life has to be lived forward, but it's understood backwards. Yes. So what you did and that stuff that you had in the past parlayed you into what you were going to be doing in the future.
Do the job that you have well.
Yeah.
And if you excel in the job that you have, other opportunities will open up for you.
Thank you. I mean, to me, that's a definite nugget for people who are trying to do things and aspire to do things, whether it be in athletics or, wherever they find themselves. But so just kind of thinking about where you've come from and, you were here at the Ohio State University doing great things, and then you decided to kind of go in another direction and have picked up some other things. So in our quest to kind of talk to people, one of my questions is always, so how are you living your best life now?
Sure. Every day I aspire, my goal is to be the best that I can be spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So a lot of what I do day to day goes back to those three things. Right. I really got into bird and nature photography because that's my way. There's something to me spiritual about being out in a field or in the woods, looking at all the glory, the birds and the flowers. And during the time when we were shut down with the quarantine, I made a little photo book. Flowers along the path, because I noticed that I walk my dog every day, but didn't even recognize the beauty that was on the ground. So I just stepped back, took a deep breath, and so that helps to keep me grounded, spiritually and emotionally. I'm pretty low key and level, and I just let things go. Don't sweat the small stuff. That whole thing. Don't sweat the small stuff. And then physically, I get out and every day, and if I'm not walking, I can't run anymore. The knees won't let me do that.
Don't get me started.
But I do get out and make sure that I get my walks in and get the cardiovascular going, because I think all of those things help to keep me happy, grounded, and be able to shed a positive light for those who are around me, whether they're the folks at the dog park, my husband, just the folks that I'm around.
That's it. Yeah. But I will tell you what I noticed, though. You look great. Like, you can tell that keeping that spirituality and not sweating the small stuff does help you age in a way, to me, and just visibly, it helps you to have this countenance that is not, you just look like you can take life on and not have it take you on.
Yes.
That kind of thing. Yeah. So so we have a little guest here. Tell us about your little partner in crime.
My little partner in crime is Bosa, is his name. And when I retired 4 years ago, I decided I loved animals, and I kept saying when I retired I was going to go work at the Columbus Zoo so that I'd get my animal fix. But I got the dog, and we have been involved in my training. I do a lot with training. So he is a therapy dog,
Aw.
certified therapy dog. We are engaged. We have our first big agility competition.
Okay. Oh, competition. Yeah, of course you would go into competition. Yeah.
Next weekend is our big agility first agility competition, big one. But it's been a joy watching him run and hunt.
Just me in the short time that I've met him, he is like a gorgeous dog, first of all.
Yes.
But he is a runner, and he's very inquisitive.
Yes.
If there's
Yes.
something, that head goes up,
Head goes up. Yeah.
frown comes on if you tell him to have a seat. But just a phenomenal dog. And so tell us, who is he named after?
Joey Bosa, who is now plays for the Los Angeles Raiders.
Okay.
But was a huge. He and his brother both were All-American linemen at
Okay,
Ohio State.
okay.
There's Joey Bosa, so I named him after Joey Bosa. But then his brother
be his
Nick
brother, too.
Bosa came behind him and was even as good as Joey Bosa. So we could just
Call it the
attribute all
Bosa
the
Boys.
Bosa Boys.
Yes, the Bosa Boys. Hit this
But
one.
one of the good things about having a dog in retirement is every day, I don't care if it's raining, snowing, whatever,
up.
I've got to get out
Get
and
up.
walk the
That's
dog.
right.
So it keeps me out, keeps me moving. Doing the side stuff has been fun for me.
Yeah.
Probably more fun for me
Yeah,
than it
than
is
him.
for him. But
And you're
but
so
he is
competitive.
he's high. Yes,
Yeah.
So our first, we were in a smaller competition, and he finished 3rd out of 10 dogs. And someone said, "Well, that's good." I said, "No, not good. I'm competitive. We don't want 3rd.
Third is the second loser.
We
No.
don't want 3rd.
But you want it because you like that whole concept of there's numbers attached to this.
That's
thing.
right,
You know,
that's
wait,
right.
if there's one available, I want one. I want that number.
yeah.
But he is gonna give you some of that outlet to be able to get up and move around. I love
Sure,
a dog. Oh my
sure.
God, I love animals. I think animals are so great for that.
Yes.
Because it helps you, and unconditional love too.
Right.
So I just in kind of a closing statement for this particular part, what is it that you would tell your 25-year-old self?
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Come on.
You know,
Yeah.
just take a deep breath and don't look at the big picture and think good things will happen if you just stick to it.
So you guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Ohio State, although I'm an HBCU grad and so is Miss Willis, we still can come to universities like this and just really go in, see a lot of the great things that are happening. And you've already said this is no better place to work than here, right?
That's right. Well, and I'll quickly close by saying, that my HBCU experience, I thought, helped me as I helped to develop some of the young people in our athletic
Absolutely.
program here. I
Absolutely.
bought a lot of what I learned about how professors and staff interacted with me, challenged me,
Yeah.
and I brought that with me to my position at Ohio State.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. And so with that, you guys, it's always nice to reach back, especially for things that helped you and propelled you in your life. That's what Michelle did here, and those are the things that we do. As Half Centenarians, that's what we have to do.
Yes.
We have to use what we learned to help pay it forward for those that are coming up behind us. So you guys, don't forget, follow us. I'm not telling you to follow Ohio State, although you can, but follow us, like, share, subscribe to the Half Centenarian channel. We are on a journey meeting great people like Miss Willis, who is paving the way for people, even though she didn't set out to do that. It's such an honor to meet her, honor to share her with you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon.